Happy Halloween, friends! I'm dressed up as Jimmy from A League of Their Own. It was the office choice for the Halloween costume this year. And just like there's no crying in baseball, there shouldn't be any crying in your real estate transactions, especially if you have the right team in place. That was super cheesy, I know, and yet I wanted to talk about a couple of different protections you have for buying a house. Now, we've been in a series called I Want to Buy a House in Richmond, but insert objection. And today's objection is that fear of getting over the hump to buying a house, especially first-time home buyers, although this applies to all buyers. Now, I wanted to talk about a couple of protections you have as a buyer. Number one is the home inspection. We've talked about this at length before, and yet the home inspection is ever so important because it's going to take a look at all the major systems, structures, foundation, etc. related to that house. Now, it is an open negotiation in most cases where the home itself and all of the repairs or defects found are actually negotiable between who's going to fix what, meaning is the buyer going to take it on themselves or is the seller going to take it on? You can also do things like credits or repairs paid at closing, which eliminates some of the nuance of trying to schedule contractors and get things done. Now, if you are going to get a repair done and the seller agrees to fix something, speaking from a buyer standpoint, you are allowed to not close until the repair is done at a certain date or at a certain time. So you can make sure the repairs are done properly. You can also add language to the inspection addendum, and quite frankly, it reads this way in our area, where the person doing the repair must be licensed and insured. So you know somebody doing the repair is going to do a good job, and in case something else comes up down the road, you have a first person to call. That's protection number one, your home inspection. Protection number two, if the home is in an HOA, you actually have some protections there as well. We have what's called a 3-day right of rescission rule, which gives you 3 days to review the HOA documents. If you buy a house in an HOA or in a common association community, often named, they have to provide you, they meaning the seller and the listing side, has to provide you the HOA documents and give you 3 calendar days to review those documents, see what's covered, see what's insured, see how the HOA financials look, and anything you could have question-wise related to the HOA. Now, number 3, this one is important. This is the appraisal protection. Now, way back when, during the COVID market, we saw some craziness where this was waived or gaps were paid. Fortunately for all parties, we're seemingly past that. We're in a little bit different of a shifted market now. And the appraisal protection is meant to do just that. Protect the buyer and really, quite frankly, protect the lender for their investment. Now, an appraisal is a third-party inspection, also done or known as a licensed appraisal or licensed appraiser, doing the inspection where they're going to determine the value of the house. Now, they are running comparable properties, so they're looking within a 1-mile radius, anything closed within the last 6 months that is similar and like-minded to that house. Now, one other thing they're going to look for, depending on the loan type, is condition of the property. So sometimes repairs can be done or required as a part of an appraisal. The most important thing from an appraisal standpoint, if you're the buyer, is that it protects you to ensure that what you're buying is worth what you're buying it for. Let me explain further. The appraisal contingency in a contract says, as a buyer, you're going to buy it for whatever's less, either the purchase price or the appraisal. So if you're buying a house for $400,000 and the appraisal comes in below $400,000, the seller is required to negotiate or reduce their price to that appraised price, or the buyer can walk away and get their deposit back, or the buyer can agree to pay the difference, which was what was happening during that crazy time. Now, flip the script a little bit. If you're buying a house for $400,000 and the appraisal comes in above that number, that just means you got a good deal. You buy it for whatever's less. You stick to the purchase price and you're walking in with instant equity between that difference. Most of the time, appraisals are going to come in right around that contract value, considering all agents have done what they're supposed to do, which is run comparables, list the property appropriately, and so on and so forth. The one exception may be if it's a bidding war, if it's a multiple offer scenario. Occasionally that price can get bid up, and talk to your agent because there are negotiation strategies around that. That's 3 basic protections you have as a buyer. The point there is I don't want buyers to be afraid of committing to purchasing a home. There are protections in place. That's why I started the video with saying there's no crying in real estate. There shouldn't be. I understand it's an emotional process. It's the largest financial purchase many people make in their entire lives, and yet it's also an asset. Real estate always goes up. The thing that changes is the rate at which it goes up. within a few exceptions. Don't get mad at me, all you economists out there. And yet, real estate, the longer you hold it, the value will go up. So if you buy it, you have an inspection done, so you know the quality of what you're buying is there and the defects are taken care of. If you're in an HOA, you get to review the HOA documents before you actually close, and you have the appraisal to justify your value. Well, that sounds like a sound purchase to me. If you're thinking about buying a home and you want to connect further, especially in our Richmond market, reach out to us. info@edenpropertiesva.com will go directly to me. You can also comment below and I'll personally reach out. Looking forward to connecting. Talk soon.